Okay, let's continue where Case 5 left off. But yeah. I feel like at random points tonight, I want to keep beating the dead horse of rambling about why I dislike Back for Blood. Or at least with my impressions of the beta. And in case, like, this is for, like, the YouTube export end, I was kind of ranting a couple minutes beforehand about Back for Blood, so overall, it's okay. Not bad, but not stand out in any way to me. There's a lot of specific balancing and design issues that I have with the game that would take me a very long time to go over, and if I actually do go over it, I might as well just pull up a Google Doc and just list out my grievances with the game. Unfortunately, well, it's not like why I would, sorry, it's like why would I? But I never really recorded any local recordings of Back 4 Blood when I play with my friends. Of course, like, you know, it's just me and the boys. And it's not something I feel like doing on stream. For various reasons. But, yeah. I mean, of course, like, some things can be ironed out with some glitches and certain, I guess, number tweaks or something like that, but there's just some stuff by design that I just don't like about Back 4 Blood that just can't be fixed, or that the developers have said, you know what, no, this is how we want it, and then it's like, okay, you lost me. But anyways, let's get back to this. So what happened last night? Okay, so... we need another shot from a location. Oh, right. We talked to juror number 3, and we tried to press, or what was it? We pressed juror number 5, I think. Or did we? But basically, with juror number 3, we need another photo of this moment, so then we can see probably whatever other clue we haven't seen before. But what bothers me is that it's like, hey, like, Lord Van Zeeks, would you mind letting us get the rest of that stack of photos to sift through real quick? We would gladly appreciate being able to see a new angle in this, like, particular shot to help us out. But of course it's the prosecution. Well, they help the defense, not like they need to get to the truth of the matter now. Okay. But I'm not sure, I forget what happened from last night, partially, in terms of who I pressed and who needs to be pitted against each other. So... Shooting Great Detective. So we're gonna ignore him.
Hold it!
Didn't find the scalpel. Yeah, he doesn't say anything relevant. Convinced brothers are innocent. Okay. Just to remind myself from last session, because it's been a day since we started the trial. Let me just go through everyone again. Mr. Garrison must stop meeting like this. Lawyer chap. Turbulent time. Did a lot for him. Can't be denied. Lodge has moved out. No one wants to take take any of the rooms in his place. So we kind of fucked over his business.
Hold it!
Who shot the pawnbroker? It was one of the two brothers that shot Hurley. Made statement to help us. They should swing for shooting the great detective. Okay, so then probably just, I think the obvious one is these two, duh.
Objection!
Those two statements clearly contradict each other. Good lord! Counsel, explain yourself. Oh my statement? Contradictory? See, oh my god. The mouse is moving his head too. Juror number 6, you got the wrong end of the stick. I do not have stick, I have mouse. As juror number 2 said earlier, when the Skulkin brothers fled the scene of the night in question, they fired a shot from the revolver. Yes, they shot poor Mr. Sholmes in the abdomen, I understand. Surely you're not going to tell the court now that you, didn't hear. Abdomen, A-B-D... Sir? Sorry, my English is still learning. You are telling the court you didn't hear. Why did they select a juror who barely knows English? Come on. Forgive me, I did not hear. Here is word. Abdomen, part of person's body containing stomach and other vital organs. If this is, what you mean, you should say in plain English, I am Russian, not native speaker. Gotta pay off the existence of the Russian military guys somehow. Hey, Bretzy. Oh my god, this guy. Who thought it was a good idea to let this man be on the jury again? So, you are telling me these brothers who look like criminals were lying. They said before, we never done nothing, but truth is they shot detective. This is double negative. Yes, that's exactly right. Lying is wrong, especially when lie is said by a person who looks like criminal. Oh my god. We never done nothing, we did something. Coming from you, that seems surprisingly prejudiced. This means, when they said we never took it nothing, maybe it was also big fat lie. Is this true? Well, according to the police report, no stolen goods were found, so... Enough! I trust no one now. It's not the mouse's fault though, sir. I must see with my own eyes. I must investigate crime scene myself. And, we already did that. I'm afraid that won't be Oh, yes it is, Bruno. Easy. Sorry? With the prints from Hurley's red-handed recorder. If you compare the prints, that picture's Ginny, and the next print from half an hour later, you'll be able to see straight away if anything was taken or not. Cooey? Mr. Prosecutor. Tut. Calling on the prosecution in the middle of a summation examination of all times. The prints showing the accused threatening the victim after she broke into the shop is this one. Following this, the victim and the accused move into the storeroom. Meanwhile, the Skulkin brothers entered the shop and summarily heard the fatal gunshot ring out. Sadly, none of these events were captured on film. This is the print produced by the camera half an hour later, after the brothers' flight. The thing's broken. So this was taken after Hurley was shot then. As far as I can tell, nothing has been taken. That does seem to be the case. I can't notice anything that's obviously missing in the second print. Bruh. So, the brothers who look like criminals told only one lie. They shot man, but they stole nothing. It would seem so, yes. Good. No, not good. You were right. I did not understand situation. Now I know brothers have lied. I think it is very important to continue with trial. Like, this isn't necessarily pertaining to the brothers, but I mean, I guess they want to get more closer to the truth of what the brothers exactly did, I guess, since there's still some blurry areas around the events surrounding them, but I mean, Sure! Yay, well done, Runa. The balance is shifting. Well, it's a start, I suppose. But there must be more in what these jurors are saying that I can expose, that I can use to expose the truth. And if I can do that, we might just turn the situation to our favor still. Oh, thank you, Counsel. Continue with the summation examination. And kindly hand that new photographic print to the bailiff to be filed as evidence. Another print of the court record. I wonder if we can make use of that. In Lake of Lies are many dead fish. We must find truth. So obviously the thing's broken. Is there any easier way to flip between this? I noticed that the top part shifted a little bit. Yeah, only thing I noticed is just the lamp and the fact that the thing on the top just shifted a little bit, like it just pushed.
Hold it!
Can it really show up in new clues though? Oh, don't know unless you try. Huh. Oh, I guess these things change based on their current leanings. Huh. Didn't notice that. How about this print here? It should do the trick, I think.
Take that!
Alright then, juror number 3. Are you saying you can do this with any 2 suitable photographic prints? Oh, of course I can. Very well then, I'd like you to demonstrate. I'd be delighted to. Just give me one more print and I'll amaze you all.
Take that!
Alright, these 2 prints were both taken with the same camera in Windy Banks on the night in question. Oh yes, I see. Tell me, Mr. Lawyer. Do you know how stereographic images work? You understand the principle? Well, I think so. I did have a lesson only yesterday. The left and right eye images need to be the same, only with a slight shift in the positions of some objects. Oh, I'm trying to cross my eyes for this image for the hell of it. You know, that's a really cool effect. Okay, I'm actually gonna having fun trying to cross my eyes for this. Then, when your brain merges the two images together inside your head, it notices the shift as if it were deaf. It's how you can do those magic eye pictures too. Magic eye? Yes, exactly. It's that small shift between certain objects in the two pictures that's really important. So, what happens when you use two photographs that are exactly the same then? No, obviously that wouldn't work at all. Not for seeing the scene three-dimensionally anyway. Oh! Of course, now I see. Ah, I think the young girl has discovered the secret. I have. Can you uncross your eyes before you tell me? Have another look at these two pictures from Hurley's camera, Bruno. Go on. Can you see there's a really obvious difference between them? No shit. Of course there is. There are two people in the first and no people in the second. No, real guy. Oh yes, you can see that straight away, but now, try looking at the picture in 3 dimensions. Alright, I'll give it a go. Oh, okay, this is... Oh god. Okay, so to start with, you have to cross your eyes and try to make the two pictures overlap exactly. Let's see if by crossing my eyes I can make the quill pens from each picture overlap in the middle. Oh god. my eyes. Wait. Well, did you manage to see it properly, Bruno? Oh! What's going on with these two pictures? Some things on the counter they sort of jump out at you. The scope thing. Oh my god, my mind was not ready to see the judge cross-eyed. Oh my god, that's so dumb. Hold on, I need a drink. Oh my god. Oh yes, that's it. You see. That's the other amazing power of stereoscopes. Other amazing power? Is someone going to explain this black magic, eh? Why the deuce do some of the things on the counter seem to jump out at you like that? I think you'll find that if you consider the basic principle of the stereoscope, you'll answer your own question. Basic principles of the stereoscope. As I said before, if you try to look at two identical pictures using a stereoscope, it won't work at all. It's the slight shift in the positions of certain objects that let you see pictures three-dimensionally. In other words, Even though at first glance it seems the objects on the counter haven't moved at all between the two pictures, this shows that actually there must have been a slight shift in their positions. Yes, there must have been. So what does this mean? Now hold fire there, sir. Got a reasonable grasp of this whole cross-eyed business now, you'd say, or I'd say. Why the devil does this shift between 2 points exist in the first place? Well, what's the answer, fellow? Come on, you're the cross-eyed master. What, me? I haven't the first idea. Oh, you know, Bruno, it's quite simple. It is. Just think it through step by step. If the first photograph was taken at 1 AM, then 30 minutes later, the second photograph was taken. But the position of some items on the counter appears to have shifted slightly in the interim. So that means that sometime in the half-hour interval, someone must have tampered with the things on the counter. Zookers! Zookers? Someone tampered! New information. Stop. Not mentioned in the testimony so far. Stop. Yes. We've had to go around in circles a little here. As with any Ace Attorney game. It seems. But I'm starting to see what I should be aiming at in this summation examination now. Ladies and gentlemen, the question now is clear. We know the items on the countertop were moved, but by whom? Are you suggesting you might know? Oh, of course. I can tell you right now who is responsible for the almost imperceptible shift in the items on the counter. I'm guessing it would be the brothers, because they were kind of nosing around. Because I'm pretty sure Gina and Windy Bank. Wait, how does the... Hold on. Oh, can I not look at the court record during the... Ooh. Well, sure.
Take that!
It was the witnesses currently in the stand. The Skulkin brothers. Wait. This does not agree with what brothers said in testimony before. They said they did not even have time to pull dukes from Lucy Lockets. My phrasebook says dukes meaning hands, and Lucy Lockets meaning pockets. But this is another lie. Poor mouse. Is this what you are saying? Yes, I'm afraid so. Now hold on there a minute. Sorry. Now hold on there a minute. You can't be sure of that. I quite agree. The accused is a common pick purse after all. It's perfectly possible that she went through the things on the desk to see what she might steal. I think that's unlikely. And why exactly? As you can see from this photographic print, the defendant was pointing a gun at the victim. It would seem, as my learned friend indicated, that she was coercing Mr. Windybank to open the storeroom door. In other words, Miss Lestrade's interest lay within the storeroom, not the main shop, giving her no reason to touch anything on the counter. All of which points to one thing. The Skulkin brothers have omitted key facts in their testimony. But the accused is a pick purse, common gutter trash. Why look any further for the wrongdoer here? Because the Skulkin brothers are thieves, madam, no better, or in fact, worse than a pick purse. I believe that these brothers were looking for something on the victim's counter that night. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you would condemn the defendant on the grounds that she is a pickpocket, would it not be at least right and proper to thoroughly scrutinize testimony given against her by two thieves? Well said. I, for one, would like to hear hear more from that shady pair. The old man just says, what the fuck? That's not a hammer! Or whatever. Can you all see now? I think you'll find stereoscopes aren't playthings, You've seen their extraordinary potential firsthand. Surgeon's hands are the most important tools. Yeah, he can't harm them by slamming them on the table. Wholeheartedly agree. Agree. Stop. Must purchase after trial. Stop. Will return home via Regent Street. Stop. Oh, this is so dull. Well, it would seem this trial has yet to run its course. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury have declared their inclinations via the mighty scales of justice. I hereby call the summation examination to conclusion with the balance altered in the defendant's favor. 2 lean guilty, all lean to not guilty. Accordingly, the jury is without consensus. And I order this trial to continue. Yay, well done. Oh, by the way, what? You should hold on to this, Reno. You never know when it might come in useful. Why someone trial would be unusual, surely, but alright. Old Van Zeeks. Actually, let me see that. Copy 2 prints. When you look through the eyepieces, you can see the image in 3 dimensions. You're just like Hurley. You boys love pressing buttons. Us boys? This is a 10-year-old girl. Can they not allow me to... Man... Fine. You will instruct the witnesses that the court demands additional testimony from them. I'm sure it won't spoil the bouquet to do so, my lord. I've won myself another chance to probe that pair about their activities that night at least. And I won't stop probing them until I've proven that Gina is innocent. Man, I stopped right near the end of part 1 of the trial last night. But I did say that I wanted to hard stop at around when it reached midnight. Oh well. Rabble, 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 rabble. Renoski, you can stop leaning into the desk. Order, please. Let us resume proceedings. Witnesses, you will now retake the stand. I presume you heard the defense counsel's summation examination. Oh, yeah, Governor. I did, Gov, I did. Hold on, something. Okay, there we go. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. No, call blimey. This is going to be hard work. Earlier in this trial, you gave the following testimony about your actions. Oh, sorry. After you entered Windy Banks. Well, it was bedbum soon as, weren't it? It was, Nash. It was. Didn't you have time to pull me Duke's out of me Lucy lockets? However, that was a lie. You brothers. On the night in question, you rifled through the items on the victim's counter. We never done nothing of the sort. How'd you figure that out? Oh. Never done nothing. This is double negative. You will now give formal testimony once again. You will tell the court precisely what happened on the night in question, and this time, you will tell the truth. Each lie that passes your lips serves to increase the severity of your punishment. And that, gentlemen, may deal a crushing blow to your chances of ever seeing the light of day again. A thought worth pondering, perhaps. Say no more, girl. We hear ya. We'll blab, we'll squeal, we'll peach. Peach? Alright, we did knock a few things over, but we were rifling for nothing. So they were rifling for something? It was when they heard the gunshots, see? Made us both jump, and all that stuff went flying. Okay. Mummy, it didn't give half a fright. We was thinking the shooter come out the door and get us next. We stuck everything back where we found it, and the scarpered straight into him in the black. We could not have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never even had the chance, did we? So you admit to the defense's accusation. You did indeed ransack Mr. Windyback's countertop on the night in question. Not ransack, Governor, no. That's right, Nash, that's right. It's more like we tied it up, yeah. Benzeeks, you have permission to throw your bottle at the witnesses. Sorry. By their own admission, these brothers have entered the pawnbrokery under dubious circumstances. However, they panicked and fled on hearing the gunshot, having first made good their mess. The way you say it, we hardly sound like roughs at all. We don't, Nash, we don't. Can make us sound a bit more, cutthroat. Can't just be coincidence that these men showed up on Windybanks that night. There's more to their testimony than meets the eye. I'm sure of it. Yeah, Gregson.
Hold it!
If that's the case, then why didn't you testify to that effect in the first place? Oh, well, you know, we ain't exactly squeaky clean, are we? We ain't, Nash, we ain't. If we made it to something, or something like that, people would think we was up to no good. Well said, Ringo. Give me, Mio China? We only land ourselves in even more trouble. And in fact now, as a result of lying in your previous testimony, that's exactly what you've done, landed yourselves in even more trouble. Yeah, well, that's rotten luck, says the rotten apple eater. Witnesses, explain your actions to the court. Why did you ransack the victim's counter? We never ransacked nothing. Right, Nash, right. More like we tidied the place up. Sorry. Oh my god, these guys.
Hold it!
So what you're saying is, the sound of the gunshot shook you so much you knocked all those things off the counter? Well, it shocked one of us that much, yeah? This bag of nerves needs to learn to keep his shirt on. Look, it was not alright, Blackie. Me, the granny would have woken up at that bang. Big brother here screamed like a blooming baby and fell over the counter, or fell on the counter. He knocked over a load of books, candlestick, and some skull whatnot. That got tangled in some marionette, knocked over a picture frame. What knocked them scales on the floor? You really mastered working quietly then. What a racket! Me granny would have scared back into a grave at a clatter like that. So in short, the gunshot took you by surprise. And then some. And it was quiet as a mouse in the sun. Bam!
Excuse me.
Inspector Gregson, do you have something to add? Like I keep saying, I don't appreciate being lumped in with these scoundrels. No, something to add about their testimony. You seem to react just now at what Mr. Skulkin said. Did it make you think of something? It's probably nothing, of course. I wouldn't even bother to mention it, only, well, the fact is, cases don't get solved if you ignore the little details. How about you just tell us what's on your mind? No. As you know, we brought these fellas into the yard for questioning last night. And the statement they gave them told a slightly different story to what they're saying now. You guys are fucking dumbasses. Like, one, why would you commit perjury when you're already charged for burglary? Two, you're still lying next to the inspector who was working in the Scotland Yard who was interrogating you just the other fucking night. How fucking stupid are you? You claimed you heard the victim shout something out before the gunshot. Might have. It does ring a bell now that you mention it. Granted, it's only a minor detail, but still. Can't help feeling like you've been a bit sloppy with your testimony here, eh, fellas? If I discover the witness's testimony has been any more sloppy than it has hitherto proven to be, I shall be forced to bring the very harshest punishment to bear against them. Easy, easy. We'll get it right this time. Oh, that's it. Yep, it's all coming back to me now. Then speak. Supplement your testimony with whatever details have miraculously returned to your questionable minds, sirs. Right you are, Gov. Yelling out, give me that gun.
Hold it!
So in fact you heard the voice and the gunshot almost simultaneously. We did, Gov, we did. Although I suppose if you're being honest, we heard a kind of a wavering voice before the yelling on. If you don't want to get shot, give me that gun. Bam. Kind of thing. A career in acting tragically missed. And where were the voices coming from, could you tell? Well, of course we could, from the other side of the door behind the counter it was. From the storeroom, where the victim was found dead. And the voice you heard, it was that of the victim, Mr. Windybank. I mean, Granny's life? Of course it was. On his Granny's life, of course it was. So that would mean that you both knew Mr. Windybank and the sound of his voice. So that would be, what? What, Nash, what? Any ideas? Yes, Consul, indeed it would. Nah, we didn't know the geezer. Bruh, how are you still lying? How am I supposed to deny when the bloke in all the fancy clovers giving us the evil eye? If you value your lives, you will ensure your testimony is accurate and true. On me Granny's life it is. On his Granny's life it must be. It's a good job his Granny's dead. To summarize then, immediately after hearing the voice of the victim, you then hear the gunshot, causing you to stumble and upset the items on the counter, scattering them over the shop floor. You make it sound like we're clumsy. Oh yeah, we tied it up after like good little boys. Anyway, the way I see it. See, the bloke Oh, the place was holding... Wait. Instead of yelling at the girl? You're saying that Mr. Windybank had a gun in his hands. Oh yeah, but that was a sight, eh? Them two waving guns at each other must be pretty heated. I mean, just before he shot it out, we heard the geezer say, "If you don't want to get shot." Didn't really sound like he meant it, mind. More of an empty threat, you could say. Mr. Windybank was known to keep a revolver on a shop counter at all times. People say that to protect the articles in his keeping. He'd readily put a bullet in someone's head if required. That someone being himself, of course. Good grief, extraordinary devotion indeed, if Allah really misguided. Well, he certainly sounded like he was ready to pull the trigger the other night. Only the person the person he was gonna shoot beat him to it. Cooked his goose proper. Many wish he squeezed the trigger instead of wasting time shouting and give me the gun. It was directly after those words you heard the gunshot. That was more or less the same, Gov. Kind of that thing. Yes, a career in acting, very tragically missed. Then we heard the sound of someone hitting the deck, before everything went dead quiet. After that, we done a slapdash job of tidying the place up. So, I think the obvious thing is to just show the picture of this. Oh, what the fuck? I'll pick that up later.
Objection!
You're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windybank, was wielding a gun. Is that correct? Oh, that's a gov. You got the picture. Yeah, she has, no question. And yet the photographic evidence from the time of the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windybank was not in possession of a firearm of any description.
Objection!
You surprise me. Does the defense really intend to highlight evidence that compromises the position of the accused even more? Furthermore, the defense has failed to establish that the photographic print presented was taken at a suitably short time prior to the victim's death. Your chronology is severely lacking, counsel. Yeah, that's right. Too right, Nash, too right. The old geezer could have been able to turn the tables on the girl, eh? Highly likely. No, I'm afraid this won't stand as conclusive evidence. Continue with the cross-examination, counsel. And heed my earlier warning, witnesses.
Hold it!
So, you didn't try to open the storeroom door then? On your life! It went deathly quiet after that, it did. Put the wind right up me. But anyway, the door was locked, weren't it? No way that was opening. Yes, of course. It was locked from the inside, so we been led to believe. It was, Gov. It was, from the inside. Right, so we had no way of knowing what was going on there, did we? Unless there was some other way to get a view of the inside of the storeroom. Like through the keyhole or spy hole, perhaps. Don't ring no bells, don't light no lights. We had to cut and run before we noticed anything like that. We're still cutting our teeth in this game, see, but one day... Well, really, cut the mustard. Please, cut it out. But as we know, behind that door was the victim's lifeless body, with the accused not 2 feet away. Yes, unfortunately. Gina was in there unconscious with a gun in her hand. To confirm, would it be correct to say that neither of you set foot inside the storeroom? That's right, Gov, that's right. Couldn't have even if we wanted to.
Hold it!
Yes, where a punny fighter shot from your own gun at Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Oh, yeah, it was a bit nasty there. We was, Nash, we was. Truth be told, I was already shaking like a leaf when you lot turned up. If you're shaking like a leaf, don't put a loaded gun in your hand. Good advice, miss, good advice. Truth be told, my mind went totally blank. Before your mind goes totally blank, make sure you don't have a loaded gun in your hand. Mental note made, miss. After that, we legged it down the street, but apparently we looked dodgy to the coppers or summit. So they clapped the darbies on us, like winking. Darbies? And after you've been handcuffed, the police found this revolver in your possession, correct? Oh, well, yeah. But listen, that proves it done it, eh? We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never had a chance, did we?
Hold it!
And why should we believe that? Well, I mean, the bullet hole at the calendar. Eh, what? Because it's true, isn't it? The place was totally empty when we went in. At the time, the victim was already in the storeroom, having been forced to open the door by the accused who had a gun to his head. In other words, on the night in question, these two witnesses were never even laid eyes on the proprietor of the pawnbrokery, Mr. Windybank. Correct? You've got it, mister. Down to a T. Okay, I'm really getting my accents mixed up. Not like I tried it in the first place, but... So the Skulkin brothers never actually encountered Mr. Windybank. Is that really true, I wonder? That's it. That's the full extent of their testimony. What's it, Bruno? You look very fierce. I could pour you some herbal tea if you're tired. Oh, thank you, but I'm fine. Being such a logical thinker, you'll probably laugh. But I feel as though these brothers are still hiding something important. It's nothing more than a feeling, though. I have no proof to support it. Well, feeling things can be very logical at times. People's expressions, the movement of their eyes, the words they choose. You can take all that in and your brain will quietly analyze it and come up with a feeling like you described. You've concluded that there's something suspicious about this testimony without knowing why, that's all. I think you should trust your instincts. Iris, thank you. Sometimes, I think if she's 10 years old, I must be 5. So the photograph won't work because it incriminates us even more. It doesn't really add anything. Never had the I feel like it's this one. I mean, they said the single round that was fired was at the... in the man's bag. The bullet entered the body from the back on a gently rising diagonal trajectory. Oh, if anything, at least judging by this angle, it would have been straight through. If Gina, let's say if Gina did do it, like, the only way it would seem to go through diagonally would be if you look through the spy hole, right? I feel like either the autopsy report, the crime scene photograph, or Gina's photograph. I don't know. I feel like it might be the autopsy report. I'm gonna try. Cause like the thing that gets me is that they say, oh, we haven't shot him, but the main thing is a gently rising diagonal trajectory. Although gently rising wouldn't be like parallel to the ground, but then like how much is gently rising? Like if you were to, I mean, I don't think they would have set up the crime scene like that, but then like, you know, if you were to take into account his height, you would need someone shorter than Mr. Windybank to shoot a gun at such an angle to have it go from the heart through the upper part of his chest. And the only thing I can think about is, whoops. And yeah, the main thing is Ringo's like rather short height. Because keep in mind, when we saw part of the crowd or the audience, the audience reacting and stuff, he was standing on a box, so he's pretty short. So yeah, I didn't mean to actually press that again, but yeah. Let me go try showing the autopsy report.
Objection!
Yeah, figures. Never had the chance.
Objection!
Yeah, okay, so that's out of the question. Or is this gonna be a case where I need to press again?
Hold it!
Never encountered... Okay, so we can take that out of the question. I guess, let's say if we are on the right track, I think I might be going too far ahead. And I need to, I mean, like they said with the colored text, I need to establish that they knew about Windybank, so... I mean, I guess, like, this would be the only thing. Yeah, none of this other stuff is relevant, so I feel like...
Objection!
Damn. Okay. Am I even objecting to the right statement anymore? But I'm pretty sure it's this one. Hold on. Couldn't have shot the pawnbroker. And they ran away straight into the person in black, being us, but then they misfired and hit Sholmes instead. So, nothing wrong there, except for the fact they shot Sholmes. We was thinking the shooter come out the door and get us next. Sure. Well then again, so they should've just fired instead of yelling at the girl. I mean, unless like they want me to object with a different piece of evidence on this statement, but I don't feel like that's the right call here.
Hold it!
So... you knew... You then hear the gunshot, causing you to stumble. Do they want me to show... Do they want me to show the gun because they did fire a shot, even though I'm pretty sure we established they shot Sholmes? Or do I show the crime scene floor plan? Cause like, I feel like, cause if like the autopsy and the crime scene photograph aren't the things what I need and these photos aren't doing it for me, then my next line of thought would go to they could just look through the spy hole. Despite them claiming that they wanted to run away immediately.
Objection!
Figures. So, yeah, my feeling was right that it wasn't it. Okay, like, I must... Am I really looking at the wrong statement here? I really don't know. I'm pretty sure at this point, given all that I've presented, I'm fixating on the wrong thing. Unless it's as simple as their fucking gun. Despite what we already know about, well, this. I mean, at this point, I'm kind of out of ideas. Like,
Objection!
Yeah, okay. So, I'm guessing... Yeah, I guess it has to be another statement then. I don't know, man.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Well, bye-bye, Gina. Okay, so... I thought they go through the... Okay. Oh! Oh, I had to press this again? Oh my god.
Hold it! Is that right? Excuse me!
Heard the victim shout. Heard a voice. Was it this one? I mean, I mean, I guess it might have slipped my mind, but like, you wouldn't say, "Give me that gun," and have a bullet enter from your back. Because, you know, you'd be facing the person who'd be holding the gun instead of saying, give me the gun while facing away. I think that's... okay.
Objection!
Oh, come on! Okay, that wasn't it. Well, okay, got that out of my mind. Am I supposed to present this then?
Objection!
Okay, you know, I'm just gonna go through trial and error because I'm just really frustrated at trying to figure this shit out. It's like how is... although, how will they know that he's holding a gun? Wait, then... okay. Okay.
Objection!
Oh, what? Excuse me? But they said if he was holding a gun, but then how would you know that he's holding a gun? Well, one, not here. And then two, the door's fucking locked, so then, like, they would have to have looked through themselves. Oh my god, okay, I'm out. Hey, Eska, don't dot me, you're making me feel bad. I already feel bad enough for not having the right ideas. Blame these stupid brothers for not having a consistent enough testimony, okay? But I already tried everything on... I already tried as much as I could on this one about not having shot the pawnbroker. And I tried showing the picture of the crime scene and that... well, I mean... it technically incriminates the defendant more, but the point stands is that Mr. Windybag didn't have the fucking gun. And then I went back to this one. Like, before the gunshot we heard a voice yelling out, give me that gun, but then you would make an assumption that like, why would you try to shout that out when you get shot in the back? Unless, like, they just said the pawnbroker was holding the gun, but the picture shows what? Eska, I already showed this! They said I can't show this because it incriminates Gina more, so this is not, like, useful evidence to use. Like, if you were here earlier, like, we just went through this, like, it's like, counsel, like, this incriminates your defendant even more. It's like, yeah, but it proves the point that Windy Banks wasn't holding the gun, but then we didn't proceed with it. You just got here? Yeah, like, I already presented this. You would think it's the first thing to show, and I didn't lose a point over, or a life over this, but then it says, no, you can't use that. I'm like, what the fuck? That's bullshit. So now I'm just trying to run through, like, what other, like, statements have any vague inconsistencies to run through here. So, yeah, I'm just kind of randomly going through stuff at this point because, like this thing here is like, oh, the guy owned the gun, or held the gun. I was like, okay, let me show this to you. I was like, okay, here's what it looks like.
Objection!
So he's saying on the night in question, Mr. Winnipeg was wielding a gun, is that correct? That's it, Gov, you got the picture? See, he has no question, and yet the photographic evidence shows that Mr. Windybank was not in possession of the firearm.
Objection!
And then Van Zeeks goes and stonewalls us. So, defense intends to highlight evidence that compromises the position of the accused even more. And then we had to double back going, yeah, no. So furthermore, defense has failed to establish photographic print presented was taken a suitably short time prior to the death of Mr. Windybank because the photos are taken in every 30-minute intervals. So there's a large time gap, so it's kind of unclear just trying to base things off this picture. See, the old geezer could have been about to turn the tables on the girl. Hardly likely. So this won't work as evidence. And we're just gonna move on with the testimony. So this is what has me all confused right now. Unless they want me to present something different, but I'm pretty sure I already presented something different. So, I have no fucking clue. Like, unless they want me to show the gun itself. Or did I already show the gun itself? Oh, fuck it.
Objection!
Yeah.
Hold it!
Two waving guns at each other. Oh fuck it, I don't know, dude. The Skulkin Brothers gone.
Objection!
Skulkin Brothers never actually encountered Mr. Windybank. Is that the full extent of their testimony? Couldn't have had the chance. So wait, what did I show already? I showed autopsy, crime scene. Did I show all these four, or was I? Never had the chance. Okay, I'm just gonna probably redo some of these because I forget already.
Objection!
At this point, I'm just gonna brute force it because I don't know which thing the game wants me to show if I can't use that fucking photograph on statement 3. Did I combine the two pictures on account of the stereoscope? We already went over that in the summation examination.
Objection!
But we already established with those two pictures that these two guys shifted the items around after they heard the gunshot from the storeroom.
Objection!
Yeah, so like this is a dead end statement here.
Objection!
You don't remember this part of the case much? I I don't remember much of myself. Was thinking the shooter would come out the door. Would it be this one? Cause like there was only a single thing, a single bullet inside the hand or the revolver. So then...
Objection!
Yeah, figures. God damn.
Objection!
I'm really stumped here. Fire instead of yelling at the girl. Like, we can't show this.
Objection!
Yeah, we showed that last time. Wait, want to show, like... You want me to show, like, this or something?
Objection!
Nah. How did they know he was holding a gun when they couldn't even see him? That's what I'm trying to wonder about too. And trying to figure out how to, like, present that if that's what they want me to do. So we couldn't have shot the pawnbroker. So we'll ignore statements 4 and 5. Like, the thing that gets me with statement 3 is the fact that we can't show this because it compromises our position. Despite it, like, supporting, or not supporting, showing something wrong with what they're saying. That, like, this is exactly the thing I need to tell them that, hey, he was not holding a gun. Gino was the only one holding the gun. So, how could you have possibly seen this man hold the gun? Why wasn't I press here?
Hold it!
Like, I already pressed here. So, yeah, those two waving guns at each other must be pretty heated. Heard the geezer say, if you don't want to get shot. Then it sound like he meant it, more of an empty threat. And, you know, as we know, Mr. Windybank, he only keeps the revolver to shoot himself in the head for messing up his business. That's how serious he is about keeping everything, like, proper and stuff. Would she squeeze the trigger instead of shouting, "Give me that gun"? Directly after those words, you heard the gunshot. More or less the same time. Give me that gun. Heard a sound of someone hitting the deck, which is, he fell down and then died. Like,
Objection!
There's an autopsy report.
Objection.
Oh my god, I just... Finally, goddamn. So I had to show... like... You're telling me I had to fucking show the scene of the crime where he's dead on the floor without said gun in hand. I was like, okay, I get that. But like, hello? Like, I don't care if this compromises my position of, like, oh, I guess, like, they could have speculated that there was, like, another gun or something in the storeroom for which Windy Bank could have theoretically grabbed if it was there to try to, like, support the incorrect idea that Windy Bank had his own gun to wave at Gina, even though there's only one gun in the entire shop, as we know, which is that revolver that belongs to Windy Banks of the same description. So I'm like, I guess they just want the precise moment, which I guess makes sense, of like him falling at the scene. Fine, dude, fuck. So you're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windybank, was wielding a gun. Is that correct? Okay, so I'm still too pissed that I can't. That other photo didn't do shit. Oh my god. Oh, that's a gov. You got the picture. Yes, Nash. Yes, no question. And yet, photographic evidence obtained immediately after the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windybank was not holding a firearm of any description. Eh? You what? Gordon Bennett? That ain't right.
Objection!
There can be no question that the victim's revolver was used in the incident. I will remind the court that Mr. Windybank's gun was found at the scene. Not only was it identified as the murder weapon, but it was found in the accused's hand. Yeah, that, Mole Tooler, used the victim's own gun to finish him off. Give me that gun. Bam. Kind of thing.
Hold it!
Stay exactly where you are, right there. Eh? If the crime had taken place as you so colorfully described in your testimony, it would give rise to an undeniable and significant inconsistency in the final moments you just acted out. Goodness, are you sure, counsel? Dude, was I really on the right track, but I stepped too far ahead? Cause like, the whole thing with the autopsy shows he was shot through the back and the projectile was going at a gently rising trajectory. Meaning, the person had to have been shorter, the shooter had to have been shorter than Mr. Windybank. But as we can see here, like, Gina is on relatively, like, even level, at least if she holds her gun straight, towards Windybank's chest. Like, I had the right idea, but it was the right fucking time to present it, like, god damn it! You intrigue me, my learned friend, but let's see some evidence to support your claim. Where is the proof that demonstrates this inconsistency in the witness's portrayal, that demonstrates this inconsistency in the witness's portrayal of the victim's final moments? So the autopsy report?
Take that!
According to their testimony, the witnesses claim to have heard a shout of, "Give me that gun," followed by the gunshot. Indeed. With the two events happening almost simultaneously, or so we've been led to believe. Yes, that's right. Now, if that testimony is true, it would mean that at the moment of death, the victim and his attacker would have been facing each other. Yes, like I've said before. However, in the autopsy report, it clearly states that the victim died instantly after being shot from behind. Oh. So, as I stated before, there is an undeniable inconsistency in your testimony, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. Yeah! Yeah. But it's the God's honest truth. It is, Nash, it is. When he was shot that night, the shopkeeper had a gun in his hand, and we saw it with our own bleeding eyes. Did I hear you right just now? You actually saw Mr. Windybank holding a gun. Something like that might have slipped out. So you were committing perjury. Again. Ladies and gentlemen, you have all just heard the admission by these two witnesses that on the night in question, they actually saw with their own eyes the victim wielding a gun, which can only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, the Skulkin brothers must have encountered the victim in person. Nash, yeah! Rabble. Order! Witnesses, explain yourselves at once. Well, the thing is, we weren't supposed to, It would seem that my previous warning fell on deaf ears. I made it quite clear that that false witness would be the death of you. Am I to understand that you replaced the untruths of your original testimony with renewed lies? Ever so sorry, Governor. The truth is Cut it out, Nash. Cut it out. We blab now. You know what it'll do to us. What are they talking about? Let me make your position here perfectly clear. You will talk. There is no other option available to you. Bruv, come on, the game's up. But you'll have our guts for garters. In case it hasn't quite sunk in yet, no matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will come out. On the night in question, it is now apparent that you brothers met face to face with the victim. I demand that you testify again to explain the precise circumstances under which this meeting took place. Well, do we have to? On pain of death. I suggest you make yourselves fully aware that this is your very last chance to tell the truth. Could we just execute them? Alright, so we just got inside the gap and heaved a sigh of relief when the geezer showed his mug. Give me that gun, he bellowed. And then he flew at us like it was possessed. I thought we had it. Oh no, geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter. God damn. Well, he is quite short. I pulled me gun on him and then he legged it through that door into the back room. We never had nothing to do with killing him. That's all what happened, I swear. So you're now telling us that moments before the victim was killed in the storeroom, you in fact encountered him in the main part of the shop. Oh, well, yeah, sorry. Well, we find ourselves at an interesting juncture. This changes matters considerably. But honest, Governor, this time, Nash, we ain't got nothing to hide, or any more to hide. So, you got something to hide. Very well. Counsel for the defense, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. This is it. The moment I've been waiting for. Double negatives, man.
Hold it!
When you say geezer, I presume you mean the victim or proprietor of the shop, Mr. Windybank. Who else? Sorry, I mean, that's right. It was keeping a close eye on the entrance to the gaff, obviously. But we never thought no one was gonna come out of the back room like that. The back room being the pawnbrokery storeroom. Yeah, that must be where he popped up from. Only place he could have been. So it would seem the victim was already in the storeroom when these brothers entered the premises. Which means Ginny must have been in there at that point as well. But that doesn't make sense, does it? If Gina had threatened Mr. Windybank in the storeroom with her at gunpoint, then why would he have emerged from the same room all alone when the brothers arrived? Oh, I don't know. Did you see the accused at that time? What, that Multuller? Couldn't tell you. No way, Cobber. We had bigger fish to fry then. I mean, the old geezer just lost it. Give me that gun, he bellowed, and then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we had it. You mentioned that Mr. Windybank shouted those words in your previous testimony too. However, you claim that you heard him yelling them on the other side of the storeroom door. Oh, did we? Yes. But the truth is, he was shouting those words at you, wasn't he? Well, yeah. Was the victim Mr. Windybank wielding a gun at the time? Was he ever? Blimey lummy, a great ugly barrel he had, pointed straight at me from frontispiece? So what you're saying is, you definitely saw Mr. Windybank with a gun at the time, is that right? It is, Gov, it is, spot on. So you're saying the gun wasn't discharged inside the storeroom by Gina, right? And all of a sudden he came at us, he did. It was Bedlam. What does Bedlam mean? I didn't know who was going for who. You were clearly all going for each other. Like Nash said, we thought we'd had it. I mean, poor old geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter.
Hold it!
Yes, I noted that you mentioned the counter in your previous testimony too. Oh yeah, of course we did. He knocked over a load of books, kind of stuck in the skull, some skull whatnot. And that got tangled in some marionette. What knocked over a picture frame? What knocked them scales on the floor? So in fact, it wasn't the sound of the gunshot that shocked you, and made you knock those things off the counter. Well, Big Bruv, there went flying over the counter like a gunshot. I can tell you, the old geezer pinned him. He did, Nash, he did. If he hadn't been there, the bloke would have flattened me like a blue pancake in seconds. At the time in question, the alarm was raised at the local police station via secret cable from the pawnbrokery. There is a button under the counter used to activate it, which was presumably pressed by the victim. That's right. When the brothers fled the scene and back onto the street, they ran straight into the arriving police, didn't they? Poor Mr. Windybank. He did everything he could to protect his shop. Let's see. Up when we got at him and then he legged it through that door in the back room.
Hold it!
Were you intending to shoot Mr. Windybank? No, never. Well, I was just, you know. Looking out for me, bro, weren't I? It was being fun, don't forget. By a man whose shop was being burgled, yes. And then, The man fled into the storeroom when you pointed your gun at him. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. He shoved me away right from that door, and shut himself in. There's something about that last remark, something that doesn't quite ring true. I wonder why Mr. Winniebank ran away into the storeroom. So instead... Mr. Winniebank ran into the storeroom, locked the door. Actually, no, wait. Didn't they say that Gina had the key in her pocket? If I remember right, then, Because, like, I would have assumed Winniebank ran into the storeroom, locked it from the inside to keep the brothers out, to keep Gina safe. But then they said Gina had the key in her pocket, so... Or maybe, like, Winniebank ran in a panic and got asked Gina to lock it herself, maybe? Oh, man. Well, according to what everyone is saying, Ginny was in there waiting for him with a gun. Ah, yes, that's right. Gina allegedly used Mr. Winniebank's gun to threaten him to force open the storeroom door. In which case, how did the gun end up in Mr. Winniebank's hands again? I have no idea, but that is strange, isn't it? This little inconsistency could be significant. I should make a mental note of it. Well, the point is, me and my bruv here. That's right, Nash, that's right, me and my bruv here. Never had nothing to do with killing him, that's what happened. You said you had nothing to do with it. Nothing at all. Nothing, Gov, nothing. The old geezer went and shut himself in the back room, didn't he? Locked it was, from the inside. We know it was because we tried to open it. It was a decent door, that one, good and strong, wouldn't budge an inch. So in the end, the situation remains unchanged. Inside the storeroom with the pawnbroker, there was only one other person. The sole person who could possibly have shot the victim, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade. It would indeed appear so. What say you to that, counsel? I don't know. Was there anyone else apart from Gina who could have possibly shot Mr. Winniebank? There could have been. Let me save here. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. What? What was I look for? From the moment you admitted that you encountered the victim face to face that night, the course of this trial changed completely. It did. What is your point, my learned friend? The question we must answer is who could have shot Mr. Winniebank? And it's the belief of the defense that the defendant is not the only possible answer at all. You have my attention. In that case, let us return to this plan of the premises. The victim was killed in the storeroom, which was locked from the inside. Those are the facts. So pray, what other possible answer to the question of who shot the man could there be? Counsel, you must now provide answers to the court in respect of two conundrums. Two, my lord, twice as many chances to be right, maybe. Indeed, namely, from what location did the culprit shoot the victim? And furthermore, where the victim was at the time? Understood, my lord. Are you alright, Runo? I'm not entirely sure, but there's one thing I'm sure about. If I can prove that there's a credible new alternative to what happened, it would change Gina's prospects hugely. So now, time for some clarity. show the court on this plan the answers to the questions posed by his lordship. If you believe someone else could have killed the victim, indicate from where that person could have fired the gun. Like, right here, there's a spy hole.
Take that!
The defense believes that the culprit could have shot the victim from this location here. And in answer to the second question, assuming the culprit fired from the location indicated, where was the victim at the time? Like, hello? Unless, like, my memory's wrong. Like, literally right fucking there. in clear view.
Take that!
The culprit shot the victim from outside the storeroom. Continue. Mr. Windybank died instantly from a bullet wound in his back. Looking at the stain of blood on the storeroom floor, it doesn't appear that the body was moved after death, which tells us that he was almost certainly shot while he was in the storeroom. However, the crucial point is, where was the shooter when the fatal bullet was fired? Autopsy report. So you are adamant that the shot was fired from outside the storeroom? Well, according to the Skulkin brothers' earlier testimony, I pulled me gun on him, and then he legged it through that door in the back room. If Mr. Windybank ran away through the door, we had to assume that the door was open at the time. Ah! It was precisely at that moment, when the victim was fleeing for his life, that these brothers had the perfect opportunity to shoot the man in the back once he was inside the storeroom. Yeah! So then probably Gina, with key in hand, locked the door before the brothers could go for her as well. Although I wonder why the gun was discharged in the first place. There's only one discharge from each gun then. Unless, like... Okay, wait. Dude, are we gonna do some, like, ricocheting bullet bullshit? No, that won't work like that. No, she already fainted. Or, did she already? Actually, wait, when did Gina faint? Because, like, at that point... Because, okay. So then... What was it? Windybank pinned down Ringo, and wherever Nash was, Windybank ran into the room, shot in the back, dead, gun now on the floor. Gina... Well... Actually, I mean, that remains to... Actually, no, they said the door was locked, and they had to bust it open for the investigation, so it was locked by the time... Because, like, what was it? The door was open, shot, door was still open. The door had to have been locked before the brothers could have gotten in and do something to Gina. Although, I really wonder, like, I'm guessing Gina fell unconscious from the shock of seeing Windybank dead? But then... Because, like, if we're going off this, they shot the bullet from their revolver, but then... How was the bullet from Windybank's gun discharged? Yeah, I'm not sure how to piece this together. Oh, well, let's just continue and let them piece it for us.
Come to think of it, do you remember what the prosecutor said at the start of the trial? Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner. His report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. Poor man. Shot while he was running as fast as he could to safety. Ah, of course! He would have been leaning forward, as he was running away. So even if the bullet was fired horizontally, it would still have entered his body on an upward trajectory. Oh yeah, that too. So the culprit isn't necessarily someone shorter than Mr. Windybank.
Objection!
I'm sure my learned friend can't have forgotten that the storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside. You claim the victim was shot as he fled into the room. Do you also claim his corpse was dexterous enough to turn the key and lock? But, what if someone else could have locked the door? Yes, there is someone who could have locked the storeroom door. Is that so? Very well then. Counsel, present your hypothesis to the court. The scenario just described. The defense's assertion that the victim was shot from outside the storeroom, in which case who shot and locked the storeroom door from the inside?
Take that!
Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only other person inside the storeroom at the time, the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade.
Objection!
That's absurd! You're suggesting that the accused deliberately engineered the sealed room. For what possible reason? Hello? You have two armed burglars, or well, one armed burglar and another burglar, who just shot Windybank in front of you, and he just died, collapsed on the floor, bleeding, and you expect her to just... Oh, okay, like, people could just climb up, but then with key in hand, you would panic and go, I gotta lock the door, I gotta lock the door. Such actions would only serve to tighten the noose around her neck. I am inclined to agree, I must say. Well, counsel. Ah, yes. That's a tricky one, that, isn't it? Don't tell me this is like a trick answer. Because I only have one life left. Half-baked notions have no place in my courtroom, counsel. Remember that, please. But of course Ginny would have locked the door. It almost goes without saying, doesn't it? It does? Well, if I was Ginny in that situation, I know I would have locked the door as quickly as I could. I mean, those two burglars had just fired a gun in her direction, hadn't they? Oh yes, obviously. Can we get to the point faster here? Before the two brothers arrived, Miss Lestrade and Mr. Windybank were in the storeroom together. Now, I don't know what went on between them at the time, but at some point, Mr. Windybank must have heard the intruders breaking into his shop and then left the storeroom. Intruders, eh? That's us, bruv. If your theory is correct, then that would leave the accused alone in the storeroom. Yes, it would. Then, probably only moments later, the victim fled through the storeroom door hoping to escape danger. Hit in the back by the bullet, Mr. Windybank fell to the floor where he was, just inside the storeroom. And what we had to ask ourselves is now, what would the defendant have done in that moment? Yeah, I see where you're going with this. Outside the storm was a terrifying killer who had just murdered Mr. Windybank. As soon as that thought struck Miss Lestrade, she slammed the door shut and locked it, in order to save her own life.
Hold it!
But I mean, we ain't the ones who done it. We ain't, you gotta believe us. Now come on, we never shoot no one.
Objection!
That's blatantly untrue. I know for a fact that you would. Because before my own eyes, you shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
You know, we're kind of digging ourselves into a little hole here, because like, okay, wait. You shot Mr. Windybank, but then you also shot Mr. Sholmes, but only one bullet was fired. Like, I kind of have this sinking feeling that by some very unfortunate series of events and stuff, Gina tried to take aim at the brothers or something through the spy hole or something. And then... Oops, sorry about that. And then it hit the lamp. No, wait, no, the lamp? No, the lamp fell... No, they said the lamp fell during, like, when, Ringo got tossed over, right? Or they only mentioned, like, the... Okay, I don't think we can go back far enough to go back to that piece of testimony, but... Okay, let's just go back to the thought that it fell on because of the toss over and not the gun. Because I was trying to think of some, like, ricocheting bullet bullshit. But I'm like, no, stop being stupid, that's not how it happened. Okay, let's put aside that train of thought, don't mind me, I'm being stupid. But then... Could Gina have tried to shoot the brothers as they were escaping? And that it hit Mr. Sholmes by accident, hitting into the wall with the calendar here? That's the only thing I could think of, but then... I don't know. I mean, like, it would be hard for the others to tell that, like, Gina was probably poking her arm through trying to get at the brothers or something. Because a gun was discharged in here, but there's no bullet. Or, wait. Actually, wait. Where's the second bullet? Because, okay, wait. I need to ask myself this. So, there's one bullet in the calendar here that we know. And let me see the autopsy report. Did they say the bullet went through him, or... Bullet wound to the heart. Bullet wound in victim's back. Entered body. So it didn't go... Did it go through? They didn't say it went through. You know, this would be so much easier if we had the 2 bullets and we can, like, do some forensic stuff, but... A little bit too advanced for this time. I think. Actually, that kind of makes me think about the history of forensics. And, like, when were certain key advancements made to look at, like, let's say, detailed, markings or whatever the term was on bullets that are fired from certain guns? So that you can, like, trace it back to exactly which gun it was fired from and everything. Obviously, that's a little bit too advanced for this time, but... There is only one logical conclusion here. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you brothers had every opportunity to have been the true perpetrators of Mr. Windybank's murder. Where does this leave us? You mean to say that it wasn't the pickpocket who shot the pawnbroker after all? I should have known it was those 3 brothers. They look as shady as a dense forest. This is quite a bit before that tech was invented. Yeah. Although I kind of wonder when such technology was invented, though. Like, because I don't know anything about, like, the history of, like, forensics tech and all that stuff. You know, I think that'd be an interesting thing to read up on, honestly. Sounds like it, maybe. That was amazing, Runa. All the members of the jury seem to be firmly on your side now. I know, first time ever. And probably the last. Van Zieks, it's your turn to slam the desk. Well, I think you've done it. Surely they had to give a verdict of not Okay, Van Zieks, he's gonna toss the bottle over his shoulder for good luck. An admirable effort, my learned friend. What's this now? He's laughing? You find the situation amusing, Lord Van Zieks. I myself find the defense's argument most persuasive. Toss it over, toss it over. Damn. I dare say, such, chicanery is the bread and butter of the street performers in your provincial eastern nation. Wow. But such blatantly malicious conjuring tricks amount to nothing more than inexcusable pettifoggery here. What? The hypothesis you put forward so obstinately credibly cannot and will not stand. Because, you see, it contains a fatal flaw. A fatal flaw? Do you mean to tell me that you're unaware of your logic's failing? I say, Lord Van Zieks, might be an idea to explain this bally conjuring trick or whatever it is to the troops on the ground, A fatal flaw in my learned friend's argument is really simple to understand. Assuming you're not too dim-witted to count bullets. Oh, by George, count bullets! Oh dear. He noticed then. Yeah, Rinosuke, you knew too, right? You noticed too, right? Huh? What's everyone talking? Rinosuke! Look at the court record! Counsel. Yes, sir. Tell the court how many bullets were found at the scene of the crime. Two bullets. Correct. The first, that which hit the victim in the back, ending his life. Now the second, that which struck the detective, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes, on his arrival at the scene. Indeed. The defense presented a picture showing the damage caused by the second bullet early in the proceedings. The bullet which injured Mr. Sholmes appears to have passed through his body to strike the calendar. Your lordship's understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know there are two firearms involved in the incident. The revolver belonging to the victim, Mr. Windybank, and the Skulkin brothers' revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun. Oh, yes, indeed it does. A single bullet from each. Now then, my learned friend. You yourself told the court only moments ago that these two brothers shot Mr. Sherlock Sholmes right before your eyes. Yes, I did. Oh my goodness, I think you'll find that if the single bullet that was fired from the brothers' gun hit Mr. Sholmes, it means Windybank not shot by same gun. Stop. Only one bullet. Stop. Exactly. Yes, this Japanese street performer presented an obstinately credible argument. However, it was never anything more than a diversionary trick with no hope of standing up to scrutiny. What? Ah! Order! Order! Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dregs of this hallowed nectar into the public gallery. Lord Van Zieks. But this court needs to open its eyes. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can regrettably no longer be described as a juvenile. No, the person in the dock is far from a law-abiding citizen. She has a past riddled with criminal conduct. The truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question with loathsome intent. As we can see beyond doubt in this print which depicts her threatening the victim with the murder weapon. And I have here in my possession one more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present. Oh, the disc. But that wasn't... But that was, what's his face? Benedict. How's his blood? That disc. I'll be taking that whatever it is to McGillis down to the yard. Thank you very much. No, don't give it to him. It's mine, that is. Mine. Oh, I'm sorry, miss. Anything belonging to McGillis has to be taken in as evidence now. Yes, that music box disc. McGillis' music box disc. The day before the hateful murder of Mr. Winniebank, the accused attempted to make off with this article, which clearly doesn't belong to her. And with none of the subtlety of a pickpocket, I might add, but by brute force and brazen impudence. Good gracious! Make no mistake, any sympathy for the accused on account of her years is misguided and dangerous. There are no depths to which this girl would not stoop if pushed, no crime she would not commit. The court forgets that fact at its peril. I see. I think it would be prudent to take this music box disc into evidence counsel as a grim testament to the defendant's care. Lord Van Zeeks, Inspector Gregson? What? Yes, Inspector. We had a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service and, I think it was agreed that disc would be used as evidence. What's this all about? Why is the inspector acting strangely? Because it's about the McGilda case. The first time I said anything to Van Zeeks at all. I'm unaware of any such meeting. But those were the instructions right from the top. The government bigwigs were insistent. Inspector, I am the prosecutor, and I alone determine how to present my case. Your warning is noted. Thank you. The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord. Indeed, but bailiff. Iris, can we get some help here? The prosecution has established the accused's motive, opportunity, and baseness of character. There is nothing more to add. Oh, Runa, look, this is blood. Yes, you're right, just a small smear, but definitely blood. Actually, I feel as though I might have noticed that before. Aha, it's my time to shine again. I thought I'd be waiting forever. Alright, hold still with that disc, Runa. We get this done quickly, Iris. In a flash. Oh, a lovely bright shade again. Wait, a color. What is it? It's just that green. It's not the first time we've seen that color, is it? Wait. Wait a second. Wait. So... Oh. Wait. Wait, were we being bamboozled? No way. So, the blood was drawn on the disc by Benedict when he held the disc in hand, and Gina snatched it from him, scratching his thumb, leaving the bloodstain on the disc. But then, if it was his blood... Oh shit. Oh shit. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decisions and rest my case. Although we could also go by the fact that if it reacts to certain blood types, like Sholmes and Benedict share the same blood type. But for now... I don't believe it. I had the jury on my side for once, for all of 5 minutes. That was 5 minutes? Oh dear, it wasn't even for 5 minutes, Bruno. My lord, I wonder if I might have something to say at this point. Proceed, Mr. Foreman. Been suddenly bowed in a fog up until now. If truth be told, but all of a sudden, the answer is baldly obvious to me and my men. There's only one thing for it. Oh no. Very well. The court will hear from the jury. Sholmes was in the doorway. They even mentioned that during trial. Never made sense. About both to hit on to have ended up in the calendar. Wait, was Sholmes in the doorway? I thought he was like... I thought he made his way... Or everyone made their way into the... shop a little bit. Like, I thought that everyone was like just around here, which would have been enough distance for the brothers to then... Or brothers or someone or something... to shoot and then kind of go at this angle. I thought like we're standing right here and not in the doorway, or maybe I'm not remembering some details because it's been 2 days since the investigative bits. Oh well. Ladies and gentlemen, you will now present your leadings as to the defendant's culpability.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Alright, summation examination again. Whoa. I love summation examinations. We have a consensus among the jury, it seems. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. You know, I can't wait for us to use this exact sentence against them once we're done here. So you interpreted it based on the wording. Ryunosuke entered doorway. Sholmes noticed Skullkins. Pulled Ryunosuke back and ended up shot himself. I don't remember the exact wording because that scene was so far away, so I can't get back to that specific moment in time. At least not without going back through the VOD and looking it up, but I don't want to do that right now. That's my line! I wrote that! For Hurley! How dare he use it against us? Is it a pretty long case? Yeah. Don't worry, Iris. I don't think we're finished yet. There's still some more to this case than we realize. It must be because there's one thing that I'm absolutely certain of. Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windybank. That's beyond any doubt. Very well. We will proceed with the second summation examination of the day. Mr. Foreman, are you and the other jurors ready? Garadeb's squadron is primed and ready for action, sir. Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have now determined the defendant to be guilty. Once a rogue, always a rogue, I say. Didn't breed to us a lot of law-abiding citizens. As only 2 bullets were found at the scene, I would say the whole case is done and dusted. You don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here. Every which way you look at it, it was that pickpocket. I never imagined that simple operation would cause me such grief. The accused attempted a theft on the previous day. I can see I'm in for a busy day ahead. I am ballistics expert. I've seen many shootings. There is nothing I don't know about guns. Oh my god, this guy. It would seem there's little remaining room for doubt. I have to admit I was rather bowled over by the argument put forward by the chap in black. But when that fell apart like a house of cards, I saw that I'd jolly well been hoodwinked. I didn't mean to trick you. Well, no more. The whole courtroom is turning against me. It's not fair, Iris. The prosecutor's being mean. Just because Ginny done something she shouldn't have done in the past, that doesn't make her a murderer. Allow me to savor this fruity vintage while I savor the spectacle of your fruitless debate on the matter. Here's to the truth coming out. Eventually. Oh, that's enough preamble. Counsel, proceed with the summation examination. Yes, my lord. Once a rogue, always a rogue.
Hold it!
Just because Miss Lestrade has a history of pickpocketing, she must be guilty of murder? Is that what you're saying? Oh, well. Are all members of the British Army so quick to judge? I beg your pardon? Are you mocking Her Majesty's Armed Forces? Yeah. The greatest military organization in the world. No, damn. I'm simply illustrating my point. Making assumptions about people just because they're a soldier or a pickpocket is wrong and dangerous. Well, yes, I might have a point there, I suppose. But let's not forget the girl already shown she had it in her from before. She's clearly a criminal of a criminal sort through and through, can't deny it. When you say that had shown it in her, are you referring to this? Exactly. Tried to swipe that a day earlier, Or am I mistaken? Not exactly. Given that I was actually there at the time, it's hard to refute that. I've never actually seen the real thing. I can't wait to have a closer look at it. Oh yes, of course. Mr. Jones did use his caramel bars to make a copy of the disc, didn't he? And then ordered every type of music box he could find from across Europe. We still don't know what tune it plays though, do we? And I'd love to see how the original compares to Hurley's copy. Mr. McGilden's disc. Could it be a clue somehow? Perhaps we should examine it in more detail. We already did.
Hold it!
It's the number of bullets that has you convinced. Whoops. Only 2 bullets were fired, and the 2 guns that fired them have been examined by the police. When the parlor maid asked me how many are invited for dinner, I always tell her to count the table settings. Well, that's logical, I suppose. Although, yes, sometimes after dining, crockery does go missing. 1 or 2 guests rather like the fine china. Does your employer dine with thieves? So I suppose. If there was another bullet somewhere of which we are unaware, I'd have to reconsider my position. A 3rd bullet somewhere in the scene? Could that be possible? Not really. Unfortunately, only 2 bullets were discovered by the police during their investigation. Yes, I know. Right. And I don't imagine the good man of Scotland Yard would have overlooked anything. If I missed the bullet when I was cleaning his lordship's office, well, I should receive a sound scolding, I don't doubt. And he should receive a visit from the police, perhaps. It sounds like a crime scene to me. A third bullet? It would completely turn things around if there was one, wouldn't it? Do you think we might find one lying around somewhere?
Hold it!
A third one? So, one... Yeah, I think we'd have to keep pressing to find new evidence of a potential third, because I don't think we have anything that would lead us to a third at the moment. So, if I understood correctly, you need two pictures. A left eye one, and a slightly different right eye one. Exactly. Then you can see the scene in 3 dimensions, like this. So, if we have 2 bullets, I don't suppose you can see anything useful with them. I think you'll find that no matter how much you squint, the truth of the situation always looks the same here. The only person who could have shot the victim is the girl on the dock. How can you be so sure of that? Well, think about it. The Skulkin brothers shot the great detective, didn't they? Yes, that's been mentioned once or twice. Well then, surely it's coming to focus now, isn't it? This is a waste of time. I'm not gonna change this man's mind anytime soon.
Hold it!
Would you please stop muttering about things that have nothing to do with this trial, sir? The defendant's life is on the line here. Well, the thing is, I couldn't really say that it has nothing to do with the trial, to be exact. Huh? I mean, there's no question that the man was shot, but the bullet simply vanished from his stomach. It's quite inexplicable, don't you think? Almost didn't want to ask, but this surgery you've been muttering about all this time, you were operating on... What was the fellow's name now? Herlich? No, Herlock? No, Hairlock. Herlock Sholmes by any chance? Oh yes, good lord. It was that Hairlock fellow. What? You're the surgeon that operated on Mr. Sholmes? Oh, that's right. Using the very latest anesthesia techniques, I might add. It was a fairly major op, I can tell you. This is crazy. Let me see, the fellow was brought in not long after midnight, if I remember correctly. He said he'd been shot by some criminal or another, so I opened him up like a shot. But the funny thing is, I went over his insides with a fine-tooth comb. I couldn't find the bullet anywhere. I'm afraid I had to throw up my hands and just stitch the fellow back up. I hate to state the obvious, but yes. Surely that's because the bullet is still at the scene of the shooting. Counsel for the defense is correct, as is clearly shown by this photographic print. The bullet that the Skulkin brothers fired at Mr. Sholmes hit him in the stomach region, then exited his body and lodged into the shop wall where the calendar was hanging by the door. I think you'll find it's quite simple if you just consider the problem 3-dimensionally. Ah, who do you think I am, son? Well, juror number 4 is about the best I can do. As soon as I saw the wound to the man's stomach, I flipped him over. Like a pancake? Are you saying that you checked his back? Well, of course I did. And there wasn't a trace of injury. No sign that the bullet had left the bot. Oh. What? That's the point! The only logical conclusion was that the bullet was still somewhere in the man's innards. This is exactly why I said about slicing him up. And I'm still none the wiser, even now. How many times do I have to say it? Could somebody please explain how it happened? Can somebody please solve the mystery? It's almost as much of a mystery as how this story was put together. Where's an expert when you need one? I am ballistics expert. Okay, screw pressing everyone else. Hold on, I just want to, we have to just present this right away. Or pit them right away.
protection.
These two statements clearly contradict the idea that all I guess I guess they want me to press on. Oh no. This statement is so stupid. Oh, a ballistics expert. Pitting. P-I-T-T. On the night in question, Mr. Sholmes was shot by one of the Skulkin brothers. But since there was no sign of an exit wound on his back, we must assume the bullet didn't pass through him. However, no bullet was found lodged in Mr. Sholmes' body either. Furthermore, a bullet was found lodged in the wall of the shop where Mr. Sholmes was shot. Juror number 6. Hello, my name is Villain. Pleased to meet you. There's apparent contradiction in the facts that is so clearly troubling juror number 4. Are you able to explain the mystery? I have seen very similar situation in Motherland. It was night. It was blizzard. I was running away along Mountain Road in freezing cold. Golly. The snow was piling high on both sides of the road. It was very, very narrow and dangerous. My pursuers had hunting rifles and they were on dog sleds. Mental note, don't ask too many questions. I was shot from behind, and I fell down in snow. And this situation was very similar to what I hear from today from Doctor. They cannot find bullet in my body, and no sign of, how do you say, exit wound. Then, where did the bullet go? Bullet never hit me. Well, if it never hit you, why did you fall down? Bullet hit frozen wall of ice very close to my side. What? One small piece, very sharp, broke away from lump of ice and pierced my body. It made deep wound that looks just like bullet wound. Oh, good gracious. Of course, piece of ice quickly melted inside me. And that's is solution to mystery of disappearing bullet. So you're saying that Mr. Sholmes was hit with an ice bullet? I'm impressed it didn't melt, like, in the gun. But that doesn't answer the question at all! Huh? The shooting happened in the pawnbroker shop. Not some snowy mountain road in another country! Just an idea, but we might not be looking at exactly the same scenario here. Bruno, where exactly was Hurley shot again? Well, according to the report, in his stomach. Sort of around this area, I think. Well, that's precisely where he always wears a little pouch on his belt. Pouch? Actually, I might have noticed something like that. Yes, a pouch. It's where he keeps his 3 glass vials of very dangerous chemicals that he uses in his investigations. What? Really? Doctor, where's the pouch Mr. Sholmes was wearing? Well, the fellow had nothing like that on his person when we arrived at the hospital, as far as I remember. If I may. Don't tell me you're withholding evidence. Lord Van Zeeks? Well, I realize it is forbidden for the prosecution to interject during a summation examination. I should inform the defense that I have the pouch in question in the antechamber outside the courtroom. Sorry? As I understand it, when the police arrived on the scene and found Mr. Sholmes injured, they removed the pouch in order to assess the wound. Ah! Thank goodness! I thought I was getting forgetful for a moment. Since then, it has been in my safekeeping along with all other evidence relating. Then why haven't you presented it? I can personally vouch for the fact that it has not been touched since the incident occurred. Very well. While extremely unconventional for during a summation examination, I must demand the prosecution presents the item in question with all speed. Bring forth Mr. Herlock Sholmes' pouch. I see. So this is the pouch worn by Mr. Sholmes in the night in question. Or on the night in question, is it? Like, look at that! One of the files is broken and the leather around it is scorched black! It's almost as if the file exploded! Exploded? So, that night, the bullet from the Skulkin brothers struck Mr. Sholmes' pouch. And it was the glass file exploding that caused the fellow's injury. This bullet did not penetrate victim, but was deflected into a wall of shop. Well, I mean, I guess I had the right idea about the ricocheting bullet. Just, slightly wrong, perspectives here. A delightfully complex aroma. Well, it would appear one mystery has been solved at least. Though it has no bearing on the truth of this case. The bungling and burgling brothers shot the detective, and the accused shot the pawnbroker. The pertinent facts of the case remain unaltered. But at least the mystery is solved. I can sleep easy at night. Thank you, young man. Ah, thank you very much. I'm glad I could help. You know, its bearing on the conundrum just solved. The court will sequester this scruffy pouch as evidence. Oh, these pouch isn't scruffy. Now the summation examination. Oh, jeez. Oh, look! There's a hole here in the back. It doesn't look like much of a bullet hole, but clearly something ripped through the leather with great force. Something must have pierced it somehow to let this hole behind. Yes, it looks that way. Mr. Sholmes and his pouch both took a beating, didn't they? We can't find anything out of place. It's really scorched badly just here. Oh, the strap is broken. Look! Must be where the bullet hit them. Let me see. Oh. What the? Iris, look! Behind where the broken file was. Do you see it? Ah, that's... So you're telling me Lord Van Zieks didn't see this, and he basically withheld critical evidence from everyone in the courtroom. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yep. The Skulkin brothers' bullet! What a stroke of luck that it hit his pouch. This is an amazing discovery. What this means is, there were 3 bullets fired at Windybanks that night. We found exactly what that juror was talking about. The 3rd bullet! It's time to press that juror again, I think. It would appear that the defense is somewhat struggling to alter opinion, Please, my lord, a little more time. After all, that's a new piece of evidence. It could be a valuable clue, and you can't afford to overlook anything here, Ryunosuke. There's still a way to turn this around, somehow, I'm sure of it. Copium.
Hold it!
So if I understand correctly, get the deterrents already. Wait, what? Sorry, I'm stupid. I forgot. I thought it was this guy that mentioned 3. I wasn't looking at the text.
Hold it!
Don't mind me. I'm being stupid. It's Saturday. Forgive me. I can prove it. Allow me to show you then. The 3rd bullet. The 3rd bullet.
Take that!
Here it is. We discovered it just now. Yes, on the night in question in Windy Bank's pawnbrokery, another bullet was fired.
Hold it!
What is this new trickery, you Japanese conjurer? Where did you find that bullet? It was lodged inside Mr. Sholmes' pouch. What? Fanzeeks! Examine your fucking evidence! This pouch was removed from around Mr. Sholmes' waist before he was taken to the hospital, and since then it has been touched by no one. Do you mean to say that shot fired by the Skulkin brothers that night? Yes, as your lordship has surmised, it hit this pouch. But that makes no sense whatsoever. We already know the whereabouts of the bullet fired at Mr. Sholmes. It's clearly visible in this photographic print. Ah! The two guns from the scene have already been submitted into the court record as evidence. Yes, that of Mr. Windybank, and that belonging to the Skulkin brothers. An examination of both guns revealed that only a single bullet had been fired from each. Ah. But that must mean... That's right. We now know that on the night in question, 3 bullets were fired. However, only 2 bullets were fired from the guns recovered from the crime scene. Until that incontrovertible inconsistency is somehow explained, we cannot and must not pass judgment. Order! While the summation examination remains incomplete, the court has been presented with new facts. Facts that would appear to shake the very foundations upon which the case against the defendant has been built. As is my prerogative in this situation, I hereby temporarily suspend the summation examination. By Jupiter! What? Bailiff, bring the witnesses back to the stand at once. Greg said, "You can leave, please." Witnesses. Governor, were you listening to the proceedings while the defense carried out the summation examination? We was, Governor, we was. Perhaps we can dispense with a tedious preamble and simply answer this one question. A 3rd bullet has been identified at the scene of the crime. What do you make of that? Make of it, Gov? I don't make nothing of it if I can. Is it one of yours? God blimey, Gov. God blimey, not a chance. In that case, did you have an accomplice? Oh, what? Never! The Skulkin brothers work alone. It's just the 2 of us. That's our trademark. How soon we forget poor Sulky. Only 2 of the bullets from the crime scene originated from the firearms we have in evidence. The 3rd bullet was fired from another gun. Where is it? Oh, lummy, that's an head scratcher. Counsel for the defense. Yes. I should like to hear your thoughts regarding these new developments. The 3rd bullet, and the mysterious missing firearm from whence it came. Thinking back over all the testimony we've heard and all the evidence we've seen, I think I'm starting to form a picture of what really happened that night. My lord, I think it's clear what this 3rd bullet tells us about the Skulkin brothers. It had nothing to do with them. I believe it has nothing to do with them. Eh? Nash? That's right. Yeah, nothing to do with us, Gov. We've established that 1 bullet was fired from each of the 2 guns already known to the court. The logical conclusion, therefore, is that on the night in question at Mr. Windybank's pawnbrokery, there was another person present in possession of a 3rd firearm. Whilst the brothers may have had nothing to do with the 3rd gun or bullet fired from it, it's inconceivable that they had nothing to do with the 3rd man. Yes, the brothers were working with an accomplice, An accomplice who was carrying a gun. Huh. An accomplice, you say? Pigswill. These protracted proceedings have already forced us to endure 2 summation examinations. Yet in all that time, there has been not a murmur of a third man. If this apparently wraith-like being exists. The court must be shown hard evidence. Without it, this fantasy will be crushed. The prosecution demands answers on 2 accounts. Firstly, proof, evidence, that this accomplice was ever at the scene of the crime. Secondly, who? The identity of the spurious character. Skulkins are lying, I know that. But how can I ascertain the identity of the person they're hiding? Well, counsel, I'm supposed to prove the existence of this accomplice and reveal the person's identity even. In response to the prosecution's demands, my lord, the defense is ready. The defense is ready. I believe I can provide all the answers the prosecution demands. So, my Japanese friend, despite the swimming eyes, you seem to think you have something to say. This promises to be interesting. I have to push forward now. There's no other option. I need to use every single piece of evidence available to me if it will make a difference. In that case, counsel, I would ask you to present the evidence without delay. On the night in question, in the moments leading up to the death of the victim, what proof do you have that there was a third intruder present at the crime scene? Okay. Either the music box disc or the blood samples. Or maybe it's a case of either or. Although I think I showed the blood samples.
Take that!
Yes. The evidence is right here, in this portfolio. By Jove, not portfolio again, is it? You expect the court to rifle through your papers itself. Be more specific. You claim one of those blood samples proves the presence of this third intruder. Well, which one is it?
Take that!
This is the blood sample that proves it. What? Wait, what? But the green, do they want me to show the green blood on the calendar and then the music box and not the music box then the calendar? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, come on. Oh, fuck off with it. Don't tell me. Oh my god, come on.
Take that! Take that!
Dude, are you fucking... They're the same friggin' color! Come on! Like, you would think either or would be the answer, because like, hey, look at this, or look at this. It's the same color! For fuck's sake! Ah! What am I looking at here? There appears to be some green paint or such like around the bullet hole in the middle of the calendar. That's a bloodstain, my lord. Bloodstain? Green blood. Curious, even for you. Is the court to understand that the intruder was some sort of unhuman creature? The music disc wasn't at the scene, though, at the time. I mean, I guess. I thought that we would have done some explanation to connect the two. But I guess I'm getting my order wrong here. It's something developed by Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Oh, by the great detective. New invention. Stop. Not yet appeared in stories. Stop. It's this, you see. It doesn't have a name yet, though. This fogger sprays a chemical that reacts with the different elements in people's blood and changes its color. Different elements of people's blood? Yes, everyone's blood is slightly different, you see. Because it's made up of different elements. By seeing what color it changes to, you can tell in a flash whose blood it is. Ooh, that brings a whole extra dimension to looking at blood. Talk of blood in courtroom. Stop. Very exciting. Stop. As an example, this one shows the blood of the victim, Mr. Windybank. Ah, a striking blue. Yes, so you see, the green color of this blood stain on the calendar shows that somebody else was shot in the main part of the shop. Now hold fire there, young man. Could be from some unrelated incident, couldn't it? No, it's not unrelated. The date showing on the calendar is the date on which Mr. Windybank was killed. By golly! Therefore, we can assume that whoever was shot on the same day. Then whose blood is it? Well, the Skolkin brothers in the stand don't appear to be suffering from any gunshot injuries. Which means it must be the blood of somebody else. The third intruder, in fact.
Objection!
Whose identity is the court still waiting to hear? You can't delay this any longer, my learned friend. Who is this alleged third intruder?
Take that!
The man's name is Egert Benedict. Egert Benedict? Who on earth are you talking about, Counsel? He paid a visit to Windybank's pawnbrokery on the afternoon before the incident took place, when the accused attempted to deceive the pawnbroker into releasing this article into her possession. That's right. The man identified by the defense, Mr. Egert Benedict, then attempted to take the article from the defendant by force. Broker. Yes, sir. I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you, no? Oh, yes. The article in question belongs to me. I demand it to be returned at once. Now that's a lie. What are you trying to pull? Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel. And needless to say, any music box disc too. Inspector Gregson was there at the time and can attest to what happened. In the end, it was the inspector himself who took the disc. Can you corroborate this, kind Inspector? Yes, my lord. That's more or less what happened. And in the interest of being thorough, I asked Windybank for a print of showing the fellow. Taken from one of his red-handed recorder, Gubbins? Yes, that's him talking to Mr. Windybank that morning. And you claim this man is the brother's accomplice? Well, Mr. and Mr. Skolkin. Never seen the geezer before in my life. On me life, never seen him. Well, somewhat unsurprisingly, it appears our witnesses disagree with the assertion. I'm sure your lordship recalls my learned Japanese friend's actual assertion, which was he could prove the identity of the alleged accomplice. Yes, and I can. Then show us the evidence. I agree. We must see proof that the clean-cut gentleman in the photograph is the filthy criminal you say he is. This is the last piece of evidence. I've had a feeling that something has been missing in this trial from the very start, but now I'm going to drag it kicking and screaming into the court. Are you ready to present an answer to the court then, counsel? Yes, my lord. The defense will present the evidence now. Proof that the man pictured in this photographic print was in fact the same person struck by the third bullet. Now we show the disc.
Or... yeah, let's go with the disc.
Take that!
As I mentioned before, on the afternoon of the day in question, the defendant attempted, deceitfully admittedly, to reclaim this disc from Windybanks. Which is when the aforementioned Edgar Benedict appeared on the scene, I believe. The man then attempted to purloin the article from the defendant's possession, no? That's correct, my lord. I myself was present at the time. It was following this that a minor incident occurred. Oh, well, of course, sir. Here is a disc for you. Very well. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style. Wait a minute. That disc is mine! Oh, what do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal. Being a music box disc, it has countless small but sharp metal protrusions over its surface. The protrusions cause Mr. Benedict's finger to bleed, and the resulting smear of blood is still visible on the disc now. Goodness, a bloodstain, is it? My assistant and I have just analyzed the bloodstain here in this very courtroom, using my trusty fogger gun. Yes, and we've added the results to this portfolio. I say, it's green. It's exactly the same color as the blood around the calendar. The evidence is conclusive. The man calling himself Mr. Edgar Benedict, who was in Windybanks earlier in the day, is the accomplice who was present at the scene of the crime that same night. So there was someone there. Look at those two brothers now. They're sweating buckets. Oi, what are you talking about? It's balling in here. My lord, it is the opinion of the defense that Mr. Edgar Benedict should be summoned to the courtroom to testify. It would certainly seem that we can ill afford to ignore this gentleman's apparent presence.
Objection!
This has gone on long enough now. This flagrant ignorance of the mechanics of law. Herlock Sholmes, you say? Yes, I've heard the name. The protagonist in a series of short stories for the vulgar classes, a god of detection or some such. And now you employ chemical substances devised by this fantastical persona in the highest courts of in the land. Do you expect us to take you seriously? The samples made by this plaything are not fit to be called evidence. So the bloodstain turned a shade of green. What of it? Here's to you successfully proving that no other blood in the world would turn the same color. Yeah, I was thinking about that with the blood types and stuff. I was like, yeah, I changed the color, but like, what if they have the same blood type? Well... And pray do not even think of suggesting that we should take Mr. Sholmes' word for it. Is he right? Is Mr. Sholmes' concoction a little rubbish? I don't know, I mean, he is a great detective. What are you talking about? We can't let him get away with that. I knew come to this. Of course Mr. Sholmes' invention is going to be recognized by any official body, but what other choice did I have? I'm just remembering what Father Christmas over there said before. Father Christmas? About how he was temporarily suspending the summation examination. In other words, the examination isn't over yet, is it? Good grief, what did you just say, young girl? And in a summation examination, the decision as to whether or not the trial continues is in the hands of the 6 jurors, isn't it? So the way I see it, it doesn't matter what certain other people think of Hurley's invention. At least, not for now. Yes, she's right. Young lady, you have quite the devious mind. It really just comes down to one thing. Whether these ladies and gentlemen of the jury are convinced by what you say, Runa,
Is that about right, would you say? Or did I misunderstand something? Unbelievable. Mr. Sholmes' partner is a force to be reckoned with. Iris Wilson, sharpshooter. Although that shrewd presses of the situation from an entirely unexpected source. It must be acknowledged that the previous summation examination has yet to reach its conclusion. This is absurd. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court now looks for you for your final leanings in this matter. As proud citizens of as proud citizens of Her Majesty's Britain, Majesty's Britain, I'm sure you will come to fair and just conclusions. So then, state your final decisions in turn, please.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Guilty.
Yeah.
Guilty.
Not guilty.
Oh. Actual split judgment now. Two call guilty and four call not guilty. Such is the outcome of the summation examination.
Objection!
My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage. The prosecution refuses to accept this decision. On what grounds? If these jurors are persuaded by some half-baked concoction devised by a pretender to real police work, then they are too ignorant to be trusted with the judgment of anyone else's guilt, or of anyone's guilt. Oh, I'm sorry, Lord Van Seeks, but the outcome of the summation examination cannot be ignored. This trial will continue. Nevertheless, we find ourselves in a rather awkward situation. The defense has very reasonably requested the subpoena of a new witness. But sadly, I fear that will be impossible. What? The name of the gentleman gave for himself, Edgar Benedict, is quite clearly false. No shit. I don't believe it. You know, we can just chalk it up to Ryunosuke not being used to Englishmen's names. What do you mean there's no one named Edgar Benedict? Just when I managed to prove the man was there that night. Could I say something? Who was that, please? Who spoke? It was me, my lord. You're number 5? What have you to say, madam? If possible, Inspector. Eh, me, madam. I wonder if you might show the photographic print to me again, the one in which the gentleman is shown. Ah, right, yes, this one you mean. Of Mr. Benedict. Yes, there's no doubt in my mind. Juror number 5, you don't mean to say you know this man? Yes, I know him. What? No. Good gracious! Dude, this fucking jury is so loaded. Oh yes, random. Oh yes, I Russian tourist, also ballistics expert. Oh, I'm a surgeon who operated on the victim, or who operated on Mr. Sholmes. I couldn't find a bullet. Oh, I'm a stereoscope enthusiast. Oh, you happen to have 2 photographs and all that stuff around the same angle. Oh, let's go see. Oh my god. This is so stupid that we're basically getting help from the jury. Juror number 5, how on earth? I am a communications officer. Stop. As we can clearly see, the gentleman in the photograph is stop. Also a communications officer. Stop. He works in my office. Stop. Oh. Oh, what the fuck? Co-worker? A very talented operator, in fact. Stop. He should be in the communication station now. Stop. Tapping away on the telegraph. Stop. This doesn't seem right somehow. Can't put my finger on why, but it doesn't feel right. I suppose we all imagined the accomplice would be some sort of hardened criminal. It's a bit unexpected to find out that he has a rather respectable job by day. Whatever he gets up to it's a bit unexpected to find out that he has a respectable job by day, whatever he gets up to at night. Yes, I suppose that's it. I suppose that's why Falsling was wrong. If the gentleman at London's communication is at London's communication station, we should be able to subpoena him within the hour. Lord Van Zeeks, if you please. Yes, my lord. Make the necessary arrangements with all haste. As your lordship bids. The court will recess for 1 hour. When the new witness arrives, we shall reconvene to hear the gentleman's testimony. Inspector Gregson. Oh, yes, my lord. I should like to hear from you specifically about events at the pawnbrokery on the day in question. Went to my chambers during the recess. Yes, sir, my lord. Very well. Court is adjourned until 1:40 p.m. God damn. Dude, it's almost midnight already. I mean, I did start the stream late. Oh, hold on. Let me check something real quick. Yeah. Hold on real quick. Oh, excuse me. Don't worry, I'll get back to this. I just want to check something.